Welcome back now. 8-year-old Tomas McLaughlin is a very courageous young man who is living with a life-debilitating condition due to being born prematurely at just 26 weeks. Despite that fact, Tomas relies completely on his parents for all his physical needs. He does not receive the government respite care packages as he does not technically fall under the necessary criteria.
Worried for Tomas's future and, of course, for their growing family, Mum Anne-Marie and Dad Shane started a fundraising initiative called Tomorrow for Tomas, and all three of them join us this morning.
Good morning, everyone.
To you all.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us. Hi, Tomas. We're just saying to Tomas he's allowed to use his big voice in the studio now because you've been told to shh all morning, haven't you?
You can shout and sing all you want, son.
So this is your moment, Tomas, as he sees himself in every screen. Anne-Marie, can I come to you first? Because Tomas was born and he was a twin.
Yes, that's right. I was, so in 2010, I was expecting identical twins, so baby Sean and Tomas. So in March, on March the 7th, 2010, I was transferred from Galway to the Coombe in Dublin on bed rest, and I suppose with identical twins and boys, I was high risk in the event that I might go into preterm labour.
Yes.
So that night, I suppose I was transferred on the 7th of March, and that night my placenta ruptured. I had just been admitted into the Coombe. I was a few hours there. Had, of course, the big feed, as you do, before Shane left and stacked me up with the jellies and 7-Up. Got the priorities, yes. And that night at 11 o'clock, Shane hadn't left me too long and my placenta ruptured. So I actually started to bleed in the hospital bed. So with that, the alarm sounded and the twins were born at 11:23 within about a minute or two of each other. So I would have had a crash section. And from then, I suppose, unfolded 105 days of ICU and special care for Tomas. 105 days between the Coombe and Crumlin. And unfortunately, and very sadly for Shane and I, on day 30, baby Sean passed away. We had to turn off his machines because of a complication from prematurity. We knew from, I suppose, day 4 or 5, Tomas would have difficulties going forward. You know, the terms are thrown at you, cerebral palsy, and there will be damage to the brain. But to look at these little babies, although they're small, they look perfect in every sense. Internally, you don't know what's going on. So Shane and I began a journey, which we're still on at the moment, you know. But we never gave up with Tomas. We never gave up with either of them. You hang on until the end.
Of course you do.
Yeah, as a parent.
But you can't prepare yourself, Shane, for any of that, can you?
No, it was a huge shock to us. It was nothing we had planned. Like, you know, even after the day he was born, even at 26 weeks, I went into town and I bought the balloons and the cards and everything. You never think anything's going to go wrong, you know. So it certainly is a journey. It's a different journey.
Yes.
You know, it's somebody uses the story about hopping on the wrong plane. You just end up in a different destination. So we are.
And it's about how you cope.
Absolutely.
With that. Now there's another 2 boys at home.
Yes, Matthew, who's 7, and Luke will be 5 in a few weeks. Yes.
And another baby on the way.
Another baby, please God, yes.
Yes.
For Christmas,
And in terms of Tomas, because we've been having a chat with Tomas, he's as bright as a button. In terms of, you know, Tomas as a young baby, as an infant, how did things change for you in terms of Tomas's condition and how you had to, you know, deal with Tomas?
I suppose initially for us, when we brought Tomas home in July of that year, you know, you're watching the calorie intake. He's on high calorie formula. Tomas would have had an ileostomy at the time. We wanted a dirty nappy, but obviously Tomas's bowel had suffered complications, so he had an ileostomy that year as well. The nights were very difficult and still are, you know. You're not just a mother, a father, a parent. You turn into a medic, you know, a paediatrician. You're watching the weight gain, you know.
Because I was reading in the notes, Emery, that Tomas would rarely get a full night's sleep.
No. I suppose, Simon, when you're in bed at night, I'm sure you do lots of turning side to side, and we all give out. For Tomas, he cannot do that. So Shane and I would, like last night, we were up 4 times with him to reposition him, to change him. His muscles get sore, they get tight.
And we're seeing some footage here of Dad helping him out. You know, parents have young children at home and joke often about not getting enough sleep, but this is on a whole other level of caring, isn't it?
It's care, yes, and you know, your ears are always open at night. You can't shut out the door and just have a a sound sleep as such, you know, and just go into dreamland because you're constantly on watch, you're listening. Was that Tomas, you know, shouting for something that he needs? If he gets sick in the winter, you know, you have a chest infection, you can sit up and cough.
Yeah.
For Tomas, he can't. So the winter is difficult. Yeah, he has to be.
And in terms then of the charity that you set up, tell us first, Shane, maybe why you set the charity up. Because you felt that he wasn't receiving what he needed from the government.
I was very slow to accept asking for help. That was a huge barrier for me. But I suppose in talking with Anne-Marie and around his medical needs and the type of equipment that he has to get and the cost that's involved, we just felt that we had to do something.
But Shane, you just hit the nail on the head there. You shouldn't have to ask for it.
There's an element of that, but it's what comes quicker. And if we were waiting for the other stuff that we cannot get, this little man wouldn't be as good as he is. If you compare what we were originally told in the hospital to what he is now, it's just phenomenal. Like, you know, since he started talking at about age 2. He hasn't stopped. He's made up for the 2 years that he didn't speak, and that is for certain. So it's quite difficult, you know, to be asking for help, but unfortunately, it was something we felt we had to do to give him the best
and that took
possible
the form
opportunity.
of setting up the charity.
Yes, and I suppose it's looking into the future. You don't want to do that, but we have to plan.
Of course you do.
You know, we don't get respite for Tomas. Like, I don't have somebody that's going to come in on a
I was
Saturday
just
night
about to ask you, do you have anyone that relieves you guys?
We have a PA from Enable Ireland who would come in for 4 afternoons a week, which would enable Shane and I to go to work, and then on a Saturday morning for 4 hours. So it enables us to bring Matthew and Luke to their soccer.
Yes, of course.
But I won't lie, the weekends are difficult. If it's Christmas time, obviously our PAs need their annual leave, so there is no cover. And it comes down to just a basic night's sleep so that one can function and continue to provide the care for Tomas.
Of course.
So the charity was set up?
It was set up, yes. So primarily for Tomas's lifelong care, which he's going to need. He'll always be dependent on Shane and I. We're currently doing plans for our extension. You could see Shane there in the clip lifting Tomas from a change table, which was made for us. We need to get, we don't get funding for that. We have to fundraise for one of those, down into a bath. And it's just not, Tomas is nearly 25 kilograms.
I was going to say, Tomas is only getting bigger.
Absolutely,
he's a big boy.
Yeah, so we need to look at a crane system, a wet room, you know, a carers type room. Shane and I aren't getting any younger either, you know, as the years go on. And to set up
but also the medical costs as well.
And the medical costs, You know, I suppose I haven't mentioned here with Tomas, there is his Botox, he gets injections for his muscles. And then you have your physiotherapy, speech and language, occupational therapy.
And I would imagine you're only scraping the surface, because it's only when you go home and you go to live your day-to-day life that you could probably give us a list of 10 other things.
Yes, absolutely. You know, I'd be up an hour, Shane would be in the morning to prep Tomas's medication. You know, his liquid is thickened so that it doesn't go down the wrong way. It's all the other side of things that we have to ensure that it's, you know, it's done
Tomas,
correctly.
can we ask you before we go, what's your teacher's name?
Niamh Badger.
Niamh Badger,
Niamh Badger.
Yeah.
Do you want to give her a little wink, maybe? Or say good morning to her?
Or blow her a kiss.
Because you're in second class, are you, Tomas?
Yes.
In what school?
Merlin Woods in Galway.
Very good. And you're a bit of a hurling fan, aren't you?
Yeah,
Who's your favourite team?
Galway.
That's a true Galway hurling fan.
Galway.
Galway, of course,
And what about your country and western? Is it country music that you like?
I'm really into sport now.
Oh, you're really into sport.
You've given up on the music, have you, for a while?
Sorry, Dad.
It's a good thing in the sport.
And can I just say something before you go?
Yeah.
Best of luck to Corfin today in the group stage in Tube Stadium. See you later.
Very good. Good man.
Mic drop.
I love it.
Listen,
You're very good for coming in and sharing your story, and we'll of course pop all the details of the website up for the charity.
Great,
And we wish you every success.
Thank you very much,
Thomas, great to meet you, my friend.
What a legend, Tomas. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome.